Welcome. We are going to be working on planning our spring conference presentations today, so continuing what we have already started. Let's talk about what we've already planned. So when you walked in today, you should already have your first slide, which is welcoming your parents to your spring conference, planned out. That should have notes on the left-hand side that talk about what is going to be on your slide on the board, and on the right you should have written out an idea of what you might say. You might not say exactly that the day of your presentation, but you've thought enough to plan out what you could say, okay? Your second slide should be about English. I hope you have a title on there so that, when you're nervous day of, you remember what you should say, right? What class is this? Oh, it's English. It says it on the board. And that slide should be about what you've learned the most from and why you chose that. And when we say learn the most, remember that doesn't necessarily have to be the thing you made an A on. You might not have done very well on it, but you learned a lot from it, and that's okay. Or it might not be something that you got a grade back on even. That's all right too. Or it could be something over time. So lots of options here, and then explaining why you chose that. And slide 3 should also be about English, and that's where you're going to tell us what you might still need to work on for your English class and what you want to keep doing. So those could be study skills, writing in your planner, all kinds of things. Ideally, you're going to have both. You may not have both for every class, but ideally we'd like to have both if we can. Now we're going to move on to the other subjects. So you know what you should have done when you walked in, now you're going to continue working. I know a few of you started this already, but if you haven't, now's the time, right? You have all of class today to work on this. You're going to be using the same format for math, science, history, and foreign languages used for English. So when we talk about that, again, that means the first slide is going to be about whatever assignment, project, experience, long-term learning it was that you have taken the most away from. Not necessarily the most fun thing, not necessarily the thing you made an A on, what you've learned the most from. And then for each class, your second slide will again be what you want to keep working on and what you want to keep doing. And that should make up slides 4 through 11. Now remember, you have examples for English, so if you get a little nervous or confused, grab that, look at it again. You will also have in your email the document from Mrs. Rains that goes over all of the different notes from your different teachers. I know for sure math, science, and history will be there. I'm not sure foreign language will, but I have faith that if it's not, you'll be able to make it work anyway, okay? So pull those up, take a look if you need a little inspiration. They'll look a lot like what you had in class before. The one about English, and then we had a few classes already posted on the portal as well. But that will be in your email, so you'll need to go into your email, look for an email from Mrs. Rains. If it's not there, very politely ask if you may go and ask her about it, okay? Once you finish your slides about your other classes, you're going to move on to slides 12 through 14, which will be your 2 fine arts classes and your sports. So you're going to make one slide for each of your fine arts classes, and on that slide I want you to put your absolute favorite thing, the project, the artwork, the performance, whatever it was from that fine arts class. I do recommend titling each of those with what the class is, so put show choir if one of your fine arts is show choir, right? And each of those classes will get its own slide, so you should have 2 fine arts slides. Then you're going to make a slide about sports. And that's going to be your favorite thing about sports. You can put whichever sport is your favorite and then what you love about it. You could put what the highlight has been in sports for your year. So the coach that you had, or a certain game, or one moment when you made that great catch, or you hit that home run, or whatever it is for you, right? So a whole slide just about your sports. And then you'll make your thank you slide. Okay, this is going to be the last slide that you have in your presentation. It should be number 15. So go ahead and check. Make sure when you finish you have enough slides, right? Count them on your paper, count them on your slideshow when you get to that point, right? Always make sure you got all the things you need. When you get to this point, you're going to thank your parents. So you might put something like thanks, or thank you, or so glad you could be here, something like that on your slide. And then we also want you to choose a quote that inspires you to get through the rest of the year. Okay? That can be what is it that you're going to need? I'm not sure if you're going to need a pick-me-up, if you need some tough love, but you got to decide what quote is going to help you. I have an example here. This is about taking risks. So if you want to take more risks this year, you might choose a quote like this one. And it's, "A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for." I don't know if you've noticed, it hangs above the light switch in my classroom too, so you can sneak a peek at that. This is one that the same quote, but I took this version from online so that I could have kind of a cute image to go with it. So you can do one of these little, I guess it's not a meme. You guys probably know what it's called. I'm not cool. So, but you want it to look good, right? So make this final slide look good. It's the close of your presentation. You want it to stick with your parents, right? And you're going to just put a note there about, why you chose that quote, how it's going to help you out. Make sure you thank your parents before they leave. As you go through all of these slides, of course, make sure you're still writing out what you could say there. Again, it's okay if that's not exactly what you end up saying the day of your presentation, but you want to have thought through what it could sound like. What would the wording be? Things like that, okay? Still a couple more notes from me, so keep watching. All right, we've got a few tips and tricks, and by a few I mean two, but that's okay. The first one's something we've already said. Title your slides so that you remember the class, fine art, or sport each slide is about. That is all about making sure that you're up there and you don't forget which class you're on or anything like that, okay? Just to help you out. Make sure every slide tells you, this is your English slide. You can see on my example on the handout you got that each of my English slides says English in the left-hand corner. It's not huge, it's not the whole slide, it's not a sentence, but it's there so I don't forget. The other suggestion I have for you is to start practicing as soon as you can. I know you may not have even made your slides yet, and that is okay, but go ahead and start practicing. You don't want to be without practicing the day of your presentation in front of your parents, okay? You're going to feel better, you're going to feel more prepared, you're going to be more relaxed if you've run through it a bunch of times, okay? So that may, for you, be practicing in front of the mirror at home, practicing quietly to yourself at your desk. I know you may not have those slides done, but it can't hurt, okay? If you finish your plan, you are more than welcome to go ahead and start creating your presentation. I suggest you get started. You will have time in class this week to do that as well, but you don't want to let it get away from you. So remember, Google Slides is a great option. Keynote is a great option. As long you want to be able to access it remotely if you can, and you want to be able to or share it with your advisor so that you have a backup plan, right? Backup plans are good. Good luck. You're going to do a great job. I can't wait to see what you have created. Okie doke. Bye, guys.